This is just going to be showing what I did for the previous rotation to get basically top 3. Rank 1 was a hacker, which hasn't gotten removed, so we'll just say I got rank 3. I was away from home, so this is just going to be phone recordings and phone screenshots. And again, this is for the previous rotation, so if you're looking for the current rotation, I'll upload that like later, after I have time to tune, because this one's going to be slightly different. We need an ML hero this time instead of 3 mages. Only 6 people ran this team. Opsaro, Ebby, me, Elusul, Zonic, and Ask. So this was not a setup that a lot of people did, but for this rotation, I plan on showing a less annoying to like gear version of this for everybody to use. So hopefully the top 100 will have more people doing this. And then for everybody's stats, let's start off with Luluca. Luluca, I had her at 90 crit chance because Frantic Flight gives us 10. And then with 30, or just high crit damage, high attack, and that's pretty much it. Her EE, all that really mattered was to not be on the extra attack S1, because then that could like just ruin your tunings. And I did give Frantic Flight to Luluca with Cruel Mischief going on Fern instead, because Fern's doing more of the damage in this setup. I also went for team attack % imprint, just because I figured Fern would benefit more from it, even though the only 2 people really doing damage is Luluca and Fern, but Fern's doing considerably more damage than Luluca in this setup. And one more interesting thing is I actually had to keep Luluca really, really slow. I had a build with 1 more speed roll than this, and it just bricked my run. I'll explain why once we actually get to the relevant part, though. Next up is Fern, also just full damage, Destro Pen, with Cruel Mischief. Then I had her at 127 speed, which was just relevant for my speed tuning. And then we have Aramintha. So Aramintha, I think I did one thing that was pretty different from everybody else. I had my Aramintha full tank instead of having Tamarinne tank. This is just because I wanted 100% crit chance on my Tamarinne to have a more consistent setup. So by having Aramintha tank instead, it's just easier to gear Tamarinne, because Tamarinne needs to be really, really fast. Really, really high defense, a good amount of HP, because we do need Aramintha to be higher HP than Tamarinne. With 147 speed and 100% crit chance. Warhorn and her EE, I had the S1 detonate one, but it doesn't really matter. And unfortunately, all my imprints are in light Aramintha, so my fire Aramintha was only a imprint. And lastly, Tamarinne, super, super fast, 100% crit chance. With a decent amount of HP, but again, less than Aramintha, so that Harsetti S1 goes into Aramintha. SSS imprint with Queen's Whistle. Queen's Whistle, the CR push is the important part here. Like, the attack is nice, but the CR push basically it effectively gives you a ton of free speed. Very, very useful. And I had spare stats, so I just gave her crit damage. Probably should have given her some attack too, but it is what it is. And again, I had tank Aramintha. It's so ridiculously hard to gear a Tamarinne that has enough bulk and enough speed and 100% crit chance. I think you need a plus 30 Queen's Whistle to do it, honestly. So that's why I had my Aramintha tank instead. And now let's take a look at the run. At the very start, one small source of speed RNG was as long as Luluca isn't super far ahead of Fern, it's fine for me to go. Here, I can't tell where everybody is, but they're all bunched up, which is good enough for me to start. We heal up with Tamarinne just before the stigma goes down, and then everybody else skills off, Luluca skills on. We're waiting for the Sovereign's mana phase. Luluca, her S3 gives you more attack each time you use it, stacking up to 3 times. So you want to use it a couple of times before we actually do the final hit of the break phase. And again, we don't want to get Harsetti down to 60%. 65% is what we're aiming for, so we can benefit from the 1.5 million break entry. So we're at 65 here, and now we are in the Sovereign's mana phase. Our 2 strips are Tamarinne Idol S1 and Aramintha S2. Our idol form isn't up yet, so we're just going to heal up a bit here. And then with Luluca, we might as well use S2. There's no point in attacking. And you can see me checking the CRs. That's just because Harsetti, she pushes 20% every single time you move. Luluca on that turn is slow enough that Harsetti's CR push gets cut a little bit. It's not the full 20% that she gains, which is going to be really, really relevant, because you can see she's creeping up here, especially since Tamarinne's S3 gives her an extra turn. Now Fern takes her turn, and it's only 3% gap. If we didn't cut her CR push earlier by making Luluca slow, then she would have cut us here. And that's why I mentioned I had to make Luluca really, really slow for this setup. So now we're in the break phase, and we're just gonna CR push first. And this is a really important turn. This is the sinking turn. Since Tamarinne pushed everybody to 100%, everybody's speeds are synced to Tamarinne's now, which means that all of the CR RNG from the very start of the fight is completely gone. We can just hit this ad 3 times, it goes into stealth. Tamarinne Idol S1 will reveal it. And now I'm going to hit Harsetti directly. We're going to hit the ad once with Aramintha. And I have a spare turn with Luluca, just the way my phase 1 setup goes. So we might as well use it on our S3 to get another stack of attack. At this point, we don't actually want to hit the ad anymore. It's already at 2, and we need it to not be stealthed. So we'll S2 there with Tamarinne. And it is our first Fern S3 of the phase. And now, we're just going to hit the ad, because that is the super target weakness, basically. It says it gets dispelled after you attack, and it also increases the weakness gauge by 100%. But if we just don't hit Harsetti, then it gets dispelled, and we can start stacking again. So we're just proceeding through the break phase as normal. Put in the stealth. We're going to heal here with Tamarinne to skip our hit. Aramintha can reveal it. And just based on the CR positionings, we have to hit the ad here with Fern. Plus we don't have any hits to spare anyways. Luluca just barely gets her turn. She can get her final stack of Frantic Flight here. We're at 6. Now we can do our second Fern S3. And now we can use our Luluca S3. So you can see that from, like, this 20.5 million damage, pretty much most of it came from Fern, with only 5 million of it coming from Luluca. And here, we're chilling for a bit. We're just waiting for the Sovereign's mana phase, because we are going to do some more stuff during the phase itself. So here, we're going to use our Tamarinne Idol S3 early. This cleanses the stigma, and we can heal up. This lets us get more healing in, pretty much, and also, we don't necessarily need to idle during the break phase, or the mana phase. As long as we have idle form for an S1 strip while Sovereign's mana is up, we're good to go. And we look at S2 there, just because, again, we don't want to get to 60%, we want to be at 65, and we might as well use it. Helps a little bit with sustain, though I didn't really need it. Let's get her to 65. I'm going to hit the ad once to prep for the break phase. Our first strip. Here's our second strip. And now we're going to go into the break phase. So we're going to heal here. You can use a non-attack skill for your first target weakness stack, the base stack. And then now we're going to hit the ad with Fern. Tamarinne cuts ahead. We'll hit it one more time, which stealths it, and we can reveal it with Aramintha. This is why I had Fern hit the ad once during the mana phase earlier. We're going to hit Harsetti directly with Fern. And then Luluca can hit the ad once. Tamarinne can hit it again. And now we can S3 Harsetti for the first time in the second phase. The ad again is at 2 stacks, so we'll hit it one more time with Luluca. And now it's in stealth, and Aramintha's skills are on cooldown. So we're going to use Tamarinne S3 instead. We're just going to go into idle form, and we're going to strip the stealth this way. We're going to use our S2, just pushes everybody up. And we want to get into 3. Luluca can skip her turn with her S2. Aramintha puts it into stealth, and then Tamarinne reveals it. This way we're not wasting our AoEs, they're all being used for, like, necessary hits. We have a spare hit, so Fern can attack Harsetti there, plus the CR's lineup, where she'll cut everybody in time. Our second S3, and now we just have to remember that the ad is at 2 on the stat count, since the stat counts carry over between phases.
선택의 마음은 이토록 무섭다. 무서워.
So now, pretty much same thing. We're just waiting for the mana phase to go up. And Tamarinne does cut here, thankfully, so we can heal a little bit. We're going to Tamarinne S3 here again, cleanse the Stigma, heal up, push everybody up, and we're going to Luluca S2. At this point, it looks pretty similar to Phase 2, but it's a little bit different because Aramintha's further behind on the CR bar than she was in Phase 2, so we are going to have to change our rotation. So here we are at 65%, going into the mana phase. The ad is at 2, so we're going to hit it once to put it back into stealth, reset the counter. This strips and reveals the ad, and you can see Aramintha is behind Luluca. Warform procs here, but even with the proc, Luluca still goes first. So we'll reveal it here, and I'm going to heal with Tamarinne, because Harsetti's not going to cut Fern. So we'll stall that one turn pretty much, and then we'll enter into the break phase here. Remember to reset the ad, so we can do 1, 2, 3, and then Luluca S3 will be our AoE to reveal it. And we're going to heal here with Tamarinne, just because Fern isn't at 6 stacks yet, so we want to stall a little bit. And this looks a little bit awkward, so I hit the ad with Fern, and then I hit Harsetti with Tamarinne. That's because I needed to shift the 30% CR over to Fern. It's a slight damage loss here, but we make up for it later in the run. But this is our first S3, and Luluca will hit the ad again. It's stealthed, and this time Aramintha does have her AoEs, so we're going to use Tamarinne S2 to skip our hit. We reveal it. And we have the AoE on Aramintha, so we're going to hit the ad because Fern, or Tamarinne can S2 and skip her hit. Fern can just directly hit Harsetti here. And then we can reveal it with Aramintha S2. And at this point, we're pretty much done. We have no hits left to spare for hitting Harsetti, and we have 3 hits into the ad that we could use, but we're just going to hit buttons for fun instead. We're just going to push everybody up. Aramintha's going to hit the ad once, and then we can Fern S3, Luluca S3, and we'll be done.
재미있구나. 그 덧없는 빨간